Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be doing my November wrap up slash my December TBR. This is my first wrap up. I don't know how to feel about that, but we're gonna go ahead and get into it. But before we do, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you guys in the booktube community who left such great comments on my last video, which was the get to know me video, as I welcomed myself into the booktube community. You guys were so great, so welcoming, really engaging, and I just really appreciate that. So, and it was also funny because a lot of you guys that was commenting down below were people whose channels I already watched. So I was like, oh, they found my channel, that's awesome. So anyway, let's start with the wrap up and see how this thing go. So for November, I finished 3 books. I will have timestamps linked down below in case you're only interested in the TBR or only interested in the wrap up. So the first book I finished this was a cover buy for me. I read the title, I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, that sounds good. But really, it was a cover buy for me. I cannot even lie. This is Zac and Mia by AJ Betts. And for me, this was good, but not great. But at the same time, I can't get it off my mind. And it's one of those stories that I feel like I'm going to have to go back and revisit, because this story deals with some pretty serious topics. So it's about 2 teenagers, Zac and Mia. And basically we meet them in the hospital undergoing cancer treatment. And so we follow them on this journey of dealing with just trying to be a normal teenager, but then, you have cancer and what that looks like, and really the ups and downs of what it's like to have a terminal illness. And that's the thing I love about reading. You get to step inside somebody else's shoes, you get to walk in their life and really experience what that feels like. And this book did that for me, and it was an emotional roller coaster. I'm really tempted to give this a 4, so I'm going to think on that a little bit more. But like I said, I did really enjoy this. There were things about it that I didn't like, parts of the story that just didn't feel as realistic to me, or didn't feel like, the characters, I feel like I'm getting to know them, and then that just seems so out of their character, but maybe that was the point. But anyway, we follow these characters. The one thing I will say is this story is told in alternating, did I say that right? Alternating perspectives. So if you're into stories like that, you may enjoy this story. If you know that you don't like why can't I talk today? If you know that you don't like alternating perspectives, then you might not like this story. Another thing I will say is that I feel like there was a ton of character development in this story, which I absolutely love. In particular, Mia, so much character development. But here's the thing, I don't really like Mia. I found that so strange. And what I found is that when I was reading, if she would do something kind of redemptive, I would try to like her even more, because I'm so not used to really not liking characters. And by the end, she was okay, but there's just so much about her I could not connect with. I really did not like, but at the same time, she has a lot going on. So, I don't know. This is one of those stories that just really has my mind reeling. I'm still really thinking about it. Overall, I did enjoy it. And it is a story that I would definitely reread, and I'm glad that I read it. I feel like that really didn't give you a clear view on where I am. But some stories are like that, man. Now, one that there's no mistaking how I felt about, Harry Potter. This is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which is the first book in the Harry Potter series, which I believe is what, a 7-book series? I should know that. I bought myself the box set for Christmas, and I'm really thinking about, don't judge me, I'm really thinking about wrapping it and then unwrapping it on Christmas. I might really do that. If I do, it'll be on Snapchat. So anyway, this is the first book in the series. I absolutely loved it. This is actually the only book in the series that I had previously read. I read it when I was really young, and like I've mentioned before, I am so scary, and back then Harry Potter scared me. So I was like, okay, Harry, I like you. I watched the movies. Well, the movies scared me even more, and I was like, no, you're done. You're done, Harry. I'm gonna have to love you from afar. And so I did, and I would just get summaries from people but I don't really even remember the rest of the series at all. So I feel like I'm really going into it with fresh eyes, because I haven't experienced really anything past this first book right here. If you are debating on reading Harry Potter, do it. And if there's anybody out there who has started Harry Potter like me, let me know if you want to do a buddy read, because I really want to read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which you'll see on my December TBR. But this book is really good. The writing is so It's written so well, the world really comes to life, and it was kind of nostalgic as well reading this, because like I said, I read it when I was little, and so I could see myself as a little kid reading this, and it was really nostalgic. And all of a sudden I just got in a Harry Potter mood. I could not read anything else, I could not love anything else. So Harry Potter, read it, loved it. And then the last book that I read, which, you know, this is a pretty chunky book. This is Scarlett, which is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series. Oh, how I feel so much. This is one of my favorite series. I can already say that without having read the final book. I have read Crest, which is the third book in the series, but I finished it in December. So you'll see that in my next wrap up. But I really enjoyed this book. There was so much taking place in this book, so I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but here's what I will say. Not a spoiler, so you don't have to click off. This book is basically the second book, like I said, in a 4-part series. And basically they are fairy tale retellings. All of the books are different fairy tale retelling, but then they all kind of interconnect. Why did I do that for interconnect? I don't know. To me, that's interconnecting. But they all kind of intertwine, and it's such a fun read, and it's like so much going on, and I've just come to care about these characters so much. And this book introduced a new character that I love. I love him. I think I'm in the minority on that, but I love him so much. So I kind of feel like I want to do a discussion on this because I have so much to say, and I want to talk about it with people who have read it, because I want to gush, I want to go off, and all kind of other stuff. So I think we might. So that was the last book. Oh, this is a 5 for me. Love this, love this. So those were all of the books I read, and now I'm just going to quickly go through my TBR. I feel like I'm kind of a moody reader, and then also I feel like my mood is just really off right now. So this month I just really wanted to be comforted. I don't really want to go into too much detail about it, but basically in a nutshell, I lost my mom earlier on this year. In December is her birth month, plus the holidays, all of that stuff, right? So I just want to be comforted, and I just want to read books that make me feel good and just comfort me. That is the thing. So here's what I have picked out to read. Also, classes are out, even though I will still be doing stuff, but classes are out, so that gives me more reading time, and I am just really excited. So let's start with the comforting books. Let me dig those out first. All of these really are going to be, I think, comforting books, but these are the ones that I specifically selected to be very comforting books for me. I even went and found 2 of these online before I did this video. This first book right here was actually recommended to me by someone, and it's called The Little Book of Mindfulness. And I just feel like as a student, I have really been struggling with mindfulness and being focused. And I think being mindful and being, you know, I talked about being intentional. It's something that's really important to me, but I'm realizing that it is something that I struggle with and I have to kind of fight through. So I'm going to be reading this book right here. Oh yeah, The Little Book of Mindfulness by Dr. Patrizia Collard. I have all the books linked down below. And then the next book that I'm going to be reading, now this is a book from my childhood. This is one of my favorite Harrys. And this is Horrible Harry in Room 2B, which is the first book in the Horrible Harry series. If you know about the Horrible Harry series, you are awesome. If you don't, you should read it. It's so quick. They're such fun, quick reads. It's just, this is my childhood in a book. It makes me happy looking at this book. And also, I had not seen this book in so long. When I got it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's really little. So that's how I know how little I was when I was reading this, because it seemed like such a big book to me when I was little. But basically, Horrible Harry follows a little boy, Harry, right here, and we follow him from 2nd grade to 4th grade. I believe there's like 22 books or something in this series, and there's a spin-off series. And the thing I love about Harry is I feel like he's that kid we all know. There's so much good in him. There's so much mischievousness in him. Is that a word? Yes. So much mischievousness in him, right? And there are times where he does things and you're like, what are you thinking? But he's also a 2nd grader, and they are so cute. I think this would be a great book to get kids into reading the series because they're fast, they're cute, there's illustrations in here, and the words are pretty big. And this was one of my favorite books as a kid, and I actually purchased 2 of these because I'm giving one of them to my goddaughter for Christmas, because one of my favorite stories. So I will be reading that. And then another book, I mentioned this one in my, what was it, my Get to Know Me or New to Booktube tag, and this is Judy Blume's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. This is arguably, not really arguably, my favorite book of all time, period. Nothing compares. The only other book that has ever made me question that is Eleanor and Park, which I read this year and I absolutely love. But this has a little bit more sentimental value to me because this is a book that my mom actually introduced me to when I was younger, and it was a story that she loved. And so basically this book is about Margaret Simon, and we follow her as she's starting middle school, I believe, and she's like, what, 11 or 12 or something like that? Yeah, she's like 11 or 12. She just moved to a new city. She's starting a new school. She's trying to figure out who her friends are. And we just follow her over the course of a whole school year and all of these different things that take place as she learns about boys and bras and, you know, getting a period and just all these different things. I just love this story so much. Every time I read it, I get something different from it. And honestly, I probably read this book like 15, 20 times. I can't get enough. So this book comforts me so much. It just makes me happy. So I will absolutely be rereading this. And I also have not read this book since I was like, I'm gonna throw a guess out there and say like 14, but it's probably younger than that, and I'm way older than that now, so it'll be interesting to reread this book as an actual adult now and see how I feel about it. But I know the love is still gonna be there because I started reading it on iBooks, and that's when I was like, okay, go purchase it. I was like reading the sample and I was just like, oh, I do not own this. So I went and picked it up. So yes, and then the next book I'm gonna read, which is why I said let me know if you guys want to do buddy reads. This is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and this is the second book in the Harry Potter series. I had to buy this box set, and I bought it on Black Friday. Was it? Yeah, Black Friday, so that I could go ahead and keep going, because I said in that other video that there was bugs in my library books. So I was like, nope, pause on the library. So I did pick myself up the series. This is the second book in the series. I don't know anything about this. I actually need to read the back. All I know is this is, you know, the second year, and we're gonna follow Harry over the course of a whole year again. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of action in this book, and I'm just excited to get farther in the series and see which book is my favorite book. So I'm looking forward to that. I had already started reading it and I was so into it, loving it so much. So I'm ready to crack it back open and get back into that. And then these other two books were books that was recommended to me by, you know, certain people in my life. This book right here is called The Miracle of Mindfulness. I do not know how to say the author's name, but this is what it looks like right here. It's a pretty short read, and I'm so looking forward to reading this book. And also, today I submitted my last paper this morning, and so really I just have grad apps left. So it finally feels like I'm on vacation, and I am just about to cuddle up and read my life away. I'm so excited to read this book, and like I said, I'm really interested in mindfulness, and I think it's also something that's really important. And if you think you're somebody who's mindful, graduate school will make you really know if you are mindful or not. And I think mindfulness goes a long way in graduate school. So I'm always about self-improvement and growing, and just, I love to learn. So I'm really excited to read this book and learn more about mindfulness. And then the final book, this one I debated on showing you guys. I don't think I'm going to get emotional. This is Motherless Daughters, The Legacy of Loss by Hope Edleman. This book, I cannot tell you how many people has recommended this book to me. And I was like, why would I want to read that? Like, this is too soon. Why would I want to read that? But then I saw a couple reviews here on YouTube, and I was like, okay, I think that I should. And something just came over me this month, and I borrowed it from one of the centers on campus, and I was like, okay, I'm going to read it. The thing is, I don't know what this book is going to do to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm going to experience a lot of different emotions, or if it's just going to comfort me, or if it's going to make me happy, or if it's going to make me angry. Like, I don't know. But it has amazing reviews, amazing testimonies from people on Goodreads, and I will admit, I am a little excited to read it, but I'm also very nervous to read it. But one of my goals is really to step outside of my comfort zone. And if something scares me, a lot of times I feel like a lot of my greatest blessings have been right on the other side of fear, just with different things in my life. So we're just gonna go for it. And I am going to read this. I'm gonna have an open mind, and I will report back and let you know what I read when I do my December wrap up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, timestamps will be down below because I know I shoved a lot into one video, but I just wanted to make sure this went up, and I didn't want to put it in two different videos and then you guys don't get both, and I was just really anxious to do my first wrap up. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for supporting and subscribing to my channel. I have got so many new subscribers, and thank you so much. This channel means so much to me. You have no idea. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stop gushing. I hope you are having a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, by the way, do you guys like my shirt? It says "Oh Snap," and now there's another one that says "Oh Snap," and it has a gingerbread man on it. I have to have it, right? Yeah, of course I do. Okay, bye.